President Trump is facing a revolt within his loyal MAGA base, all over his administration's handling of the Jeffrey Epstein case. Now, some Republicans are calling for Attorney General Pam Bondi to be fired. The fury appears to be growing after she released a memo last week on the notorious sex offender Jeffrey Epstein that said there was no evidence Epstein was murdered and no existence of a so-called client list of men who trafficked underage girls. President Trump defended Bondi this weekend, even attending a soccer match with her on Sunday. But the anger isn't just coming from outside the administration. Deputy FBI Director Dan Bongino reportedly considered resigning after a heated confrontation with Bondi over the case. Here was the president yesterday talking about Bongino's future.
Mr. President, is Dan Bongino still your deputy FBI director? Have you spoken to him?
I did. I spoke to him today. Dan Bongino, very good guy. I've known him a long time. I've done his show many, many times. And he sounded terrific, actually. No, I think he's in good shape.
Joining us now, New York Times White House correspondent Tyler Pager. He's the co-author of 2024, How Trump Retook the White House and the Democrats Lost America. Also with us, MSNBC national security and intelligence analyst and retired FBI agent Rob D'Amico. So, Tyler, you've got this internal battle now between Bongino and Bondi, but also the president himself is taking heat from his own base. Here's just some of the reaction this weekend at the conservative Turning Point USA gathering. Watch.
Epstein is a key that picks the lock on so many things.
I will not rest until we go full Jan 6 committee on the Jeffrey Epstein files.
I don't think they're telling us the truth about Epstein.
Who would you guys prefer, Bongino or Bondi?
They want
7,000 to 0.
They want Dan.
So, Tyler, help us understand why this fracture in the Trump world. This seems to be the issue, unlike any other issue, that is really dividing the base and even making them turn on President Trump. Do they think their own people are now engaging in the same cover-up that they've alleged for years?
Yeah, look, I think this is a really good example of the challenges of being inside government when you spend a lot of years outside government making sweeping promises and claims that then are not based in reality and hard to prove, and you have a base anxious and demanding more information. I think this is, President Trump has expanded the tent of the Republican Party and brought people into government who spent many years stoking conspiracy theories. And so now that there is those people in government, the base is expecting them to deliver on what they had promised, and they are not satisfied that there are not the answers and that they have been looking for. And so this divide, I think, is really a fascinating window into this sort of new Republican Party that Donald Trump has constructed. I also think one of the really interesting things about this moment, Anna, is that this is Donald Trump taking a different tack than he has in the past. We saw in his first term firings and backstabbing and a lot of chaos in terms of personnel. This term, it is very clear that Donald Trump does not want those storylines. He's trying to keep the base happy. He's trying to keep his cabinet in place. But we're seeing these fissures, and this is this is one of the most dramatic ones as it relates to the base, but it's not the first time we've seen the base turn on some of Donald Trump's personnel hires. We've seen Laura Loomer go into the Oval Office, demand and get some of the NSC staffers fired. We saw a lot of consternation in Donald Trump's base as it pertained to his decision to strike Iran. And so I think we're seeing these build up as Trump is in power with these people and making decisions. Now that they're in government, they have to answer to the base that has been demanding some answers.
Yeah, Kash Patel and Dan Bongino were among those who were pushing the conspiracy theories and the allegations of a cover-up around this case before they joined the FBI. And a source described Bongino in particular as, quote, out of control furious. I wonder, Rob, what do you make of this moment for the FBI and the DOJ?
I do think both of them believed what they were saying. And they're making a lot about it, but I do believe that they truly believe that there was some Epstein list and everything else. And then when they got into the FBI, they actually saw there was no list. All my sources tell me there is no absolute list. There's lots of things in the FBI file, but some of them are witnesses just talking, and it's not provable. It's just someone's opinion or someone's take on it. There's a lot of victim information in there. You may be able to put together a list on what people say, but there's no list. There's no evidence that he was blackmailing everyone. And when they saw that, I think they came to realize it. And now they're in this situation where now their own base thinks that they fell into this deep state, that they're not telling the truth, which is surprising. And same thing, if in fact, I think if there was information in there in Trump, I think we would have saw it in the last election. I don't think there's anything in there about him specifically, just because I think that would have gotten out. But what people don't understand is everything in an FBI case isn't what you just release to the public. And even if they release it, I don't think their own base is going to believe that that's all that there's here. I think they're going to think they still are covering it up.